Welcome back everyone. So exams are over and now it's time to build another plane. So I've got two more of the Emax motors that I've used on my last planes left over. So I'm going to use those to build a twin motor plane. So I was looking online for twin motor planes, prop planes that have a high wing because I wanted it to be stable, and one of them that I found was the Twin Commander. So I really liked the design, so I kind of based this model after it. So I created this 3D model in Fusion 360, and then I extruded out all of the panels that I would need to cut out. This plane's going to have a 80-inch wingspan, and I'm hoping that it'll be less than 3,000 grams. That should make it fly pretty good. It should be pretty light then. So I made these templates of those sections that I needed to cut out. These are just with foam board, like Dollar Tree foam board. And then I'm going to lay these on that big sheet, pink foam over there, and then cut out all the pieces. So here's the two pieces of the fuselage. We've got the main middle piece, I guess, and then the tail section. These are going to be glued together like that once they're finished drying themselves. This is the same way I constructed all of these planes here. So I have a Cessna 172, a Piper Archer, like a bush plane, and then like a float plane. So same concept. So the panels on the bottom and the top of the fuselage are 1 inch thick, and then the side panels are 1/2 inch thick. This is because I'm going to sand and carve out the corners of this plane so that it looks rounded, and I just wanted to have enough material to work with there. Still have to do the nose piece. I'll probably just cut a hatch in the top here after I've already sanded the edges that I could just open up and put the batteries in there. I might do a side hatch since I'd probably be best to have the batteries as close to the bottom. That'll make it more stable. It might be easier to get down in there through the side rather than have to go through the top, because these side panels are this is 8.5 inches tall from there. Some of you may remember that plane. That was the largest plane that I've ever built. So this new plane is going to be about the same width fuselage, I guess, but it's a little taller. And this new plane is going to have an 80-inch wingspan, so just a little bit bigger than that one. Alright, so the two big fuselage sections are all glued together. I took my hot wire cutter and I use these aluminum straight edges. I just put some nails in there on the sides. You can see the holes from them. Just use the hot wire cutter to slice it off, so we got a nice clean face on each of these. So you can see how there's a 1 inch thick piece of foam on the top, 1 inch thick on the bottom, and then 1/2 inch on each side, and then there's a bulkhead there in the middle. And I cut out this thing where the horizontal stabilizer will slide in. So now I'm just going to Gorilla Glue those two pieces together. Alright, so I got the fuselage all glued together now. Got the middle piece, the back piece, the nose, and then the very front. This is a 1 inch thick piece of foam, and I already kind of started cutting it a little bit there. It's the same thing on the bottom, but on the front it didn't quite like fill in everything, so I just sliced it off and put a solid block there, and then I'll just cut it out to make it round. And then I've got the horizontal stabilizer here. It's not glued in yet, but the slot's there, and I glued in the spar in it. And then here's the vertical stabilizer. I also glued in the spar for it. It extends out a little bit, so it'll go into the back of the fuselage, make it a little more sturdy. So now the next step is that I need to cut all the sides to be even here, cut all the glue off, and then start sanding it and make it look round. Alright, so I've been sanding the fuselage down a lot. Still got a little bit more to do, a little work for the nose. I might have to fill in these little gaps here, but overall it's coming along pretty good. I got the horizontal stabilizer sanded, and the spars glued in there. It's going to be glued into this slot here on the tail. So that's the next thing that I'm going to do. I began cutting out the panels for the wing. So this wing is going to be 80 inches long. The root is 12 inches, and then it's going to taper off to 10 inches on the wingtips. So it's just a slight taper, but it's made in 5 panels essentially. But each of these pieces is 1.5 inches thick, so I'm using a 1 inch thick piece of foam and then a 1/2 inch thick. My plan right now is that for when I cut out the airfoils, I'll have a template for the top and a template for the bottom. I will have like a little cutout in the template, and I'll actually cut out like a box in the center, and that's where I'll run all the wires for the servos. I might put lights on this plane too, so I'll probably run some extensions to the wingtips for lights if I do plan to put lights on it. So when I'm gluing the horizontal stabilizer onto the fuselage, I use this ruler to check basically the distance between good points on the fuselage and on the horizontal stabilizer that are the same on both sides. So if I measure the distance from there to, say, the point here, I want that distance to be the same as the one on this side. So that's how I determine if the horizontal stabilizer is straight, so it's not crooked or anything like that. So then I just put some tape on there to hold it down, and then put a brick on there to keep the pressure on while the Gorilla Glue dries. Alright, so I got the vertical stabilizer sanded down, and now it's gluing onto the fuselage. I just put a bunch of tape on to hold it down and apply a lot of pressure. I used a right angle triangle to make sure that it was perpendicular with the horizontal stabilizer. But you can really see how big this plane is. Here's my Cessna 172, the last plane that I built. And the new plane is a lot bigger, and it looks really cool. So I'm pretty excited about it. So next I got to cut out the final wing panel and start working on cutting out all the airfoils for the wing. But yeah, that's about it for this video. So thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.